See, as I have already told, secant method formula is almost similar to regular falsi. Secant method formula is similar to regular falsi scheme of root bracketing method but differs in the implementation. So here one important thing is root bracketing method. Now what is this root bracketing method means? In earlier examples, that is using bisection method or using regular falsi method, what we used to do means always whenever we start solving examples, one negative value and one positive value we consider to calculate the approximations. To calculate the approximations, always we look for one negative value and one positive value. But in secant method, this concept we are not going to use. See, once we calculate x naught x1, then directly with the help of x naught x1 will calculate x2. Then along with to calculate x3 value, we consider the previous two results, that is x1 x2. So with the help of x1 x2 we calculate x3, and with the help of x2 x3 we calculate x4, and with the help of previous results, that is x3 x4 we calculate x5, and so on it continues. Here we should not look for negative or positive value directly. If x2 we require means the previous two results, that is x0 x1 we have to use. Then to calculate x3, it's the previous two result, that is x2 and x1 we have to use here to solve example. So this is comparing to regular falsi. Again it is easier one to find the approximate roots. So whatever the formula we are using in secant method, that is similar to regular falsi. And then in regular falsi, starting approximation we start from A and B, but here in secant method we have to start with the initial approximation x0 and x1. In regular falsi, we start with A and B value, but here in secant method, we have to start from x0 and x1 as our two initial approximation. So with the help of x0 and x1, we have to calculate x2. Then this x2 value we have to calculate using the formula which we have already applied or which we have already used in regular falsi method. So whatever the formula we are using in regular falsi method, using that same formula we have to calculate here x2, that is x2 approximation using x0 and x1. See, so this is what, this is regular falsi method. In regular falsi method, what we do, initially x-axis, y-axis, and then one function we consider here. This curve is nothing but this is f of x function curve it is. So this is the given function f of x curve. What we do here means we consider one a value and one b value. For a, its f of a will be a negative value, and for b, its f of b should gives us a positive value. So based on that, if we write the coordinate points along x-axis, y value will be 0. So this is a comma 0 and here it is b comma 0. Then next a coordinate point is, here it is a and then f of a. B coordinate point is b comma f of b. Then this curve x-axis, that is x root, we calculate when it is exactly equal to 0, because here f of x is equal to 0. F of x is equal to 0 means when when this x value touches the x-axis. So this x root we are calculating in every example. This x root only we are calculating in every example. So to calculate this x value, what we do means we join this a and b. First we have to join this a and b. Then one more point arise here. Call it as point C. So using this A point and B point, we have derived one formula, that is xi is equal to a into f of b minus b into f of a divided by f of b minus f of a. With the help of this, we calculate this xi value. So once we get this xi value, see, first interval is a to b, then we calculate xi. So based on xi, f of xi positive or negative sign, next interval we consider, suppose it is this xi and b. First this is the interval, then it will reduce to xi and b. Again, next approximation when we consider, here some one more point will get, again the interval will be reduced. In this way will come near to this x value. So based on that, we get here approximate x value using this particular formula. So here in the secant method, what we have to do means, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ secant method ಅಲ್ಲಿ, instead of taking a, we have to consider x naught. Instead of taking b, we have to consider x1. So in regular falsy method, the initial approximations are a and b. But in secant method, initial approximation we have to consider as x naught and x1. So with the help of x naught and x1, we have to calculate x2 value. So here it is. Simplification pattern, everything is same because diagram is similar. As you can observe here, for regular falsy and secant method, diagram is same only. Again consider one curve. Instead of using small letter a, consider x naught. Instead of using small letter b, consider x1. So in secant method, we have to consider the initial two approximations as x naught and x1. So based on x naught, will get coordinate point x naught comma f of x naught, and based on x1 will get coordinate point b of x1 comma f of x1. Then join a and b. So when we join this a and b, one more point will get, that is small letter c, and call this as x2. Call this point as x2. So using this x0 and x1, based on this particular line, we have to calculate x2 value. So to calculate x2 value, we have same formula as it is in regular falsy method. So regular falsy method the ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ formula ಇದೆ, same we have to consider. Regular false ದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, here a, here b it is, therefore a f of b minus b f of a divided by f of b minus f of a we write. But now here in place of a we have x naught, in place of b we have x1. So if we replace these values, means a and b value as x naught and x1, then the formula will be x2 is equal to x naught f of x1 minus x1 f of x naught divided by f of x1 minus f of x naught. So this is the formula to calculate x2 approximation. See, this is similar to regular falsy method and its derivation is similar to regular falsy formula derivation. So how we solved in regular falsy means using slope of AB is equal to slope of AC. So using slope of AB is equal to slope of AC, we can calculate its result. See, to calculate slope of any given line or a curve, suppose this is point x1 y1 and here one more point is there, that is x2 y2, and we are calculating slope of this line, then it is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Geometrical concept, geometrical straight line concept it is. To calculate slope of any given curve or any given line, we have y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 formula. So using this, we can easily calculate, we can easily derive the secant method result. See, this A, C, B, these 3 points are lying on same line. So A, C, B, these 3 points are lying on same line. Therefore, based on this, slope of AB line is equal to slope of AC line. This AB line slope and AC line slope both are same only. So using that concept, further calculation we can simplify here. So you can observe here, slope of AB is equal to slope of AC. Now to calculate slope of any given 2 points, we have y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now for slope of AB line, how we can consider slope of AB line? See, AB line slope we are calculating, then you can consider this as x1 y1 and you can consider this as x2 y2. According to this formula, that is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, y2 is what? Y2 is f of x1. So f of x1 minus f of x naught divided by x1 minus x naught. So here we have to consider f of x1 minus f of x naught divided by x1 minus x naught. Then next we have slope of AC. Now slope of AC means only A point and C point we have to consider. Only this A point and C point. Already A point value we are considering as x1 y1. So consider the C point value. See, for C point this is x naught comma 0 because along x axis y value will be 0. Then you can consider this as x2 comma y2. So y2 value is 0. So y2 minus y1 means 0 minus f of x naught divided by x2 minus x naught. So based on this, here slope of AC line is 0 minus f of x naught divided by x2 minus x naught. Even though in regular falsy method we have derived using the same concept. Now after this what we have to do means cross multiplication. We have to cross multiply here. So cross multiply, then what we can observe means x2 minus x naught in bracket this one. So better let me write this one. Okay, slope of AB what we have got means f of x1 minus f of x naught divided by x1 minus x naught, and then slope of AC we have got, that is 0 minus f of x naught divided by x2 minus x naught. Now after this what we are doing means we have to cross multiply. Multiply these two. Then x2 minus wait. Yes, x2 minus x naught we have just cross multiply x2 minus x naught in bracket we have f of x1 minus f of x naught, which is equal to multiply these two. 0 minus f of x naught means this is minus f of x naught in bracket x1 minus x naught. Next what we have to do means we need to simplify the bracket. So open the bracket here, then x2 into f of x1. So first term is x2 into f of x1. Then next second term x2 into this one. So this is positive, this is negative. So plus into minus, minus x2 f of x naught. So using x2, these two terms we have multiplied. Next, using x naught, we need to multiply these two terms. For that, minus into plus, minus x naught f of x1. Minus into minus, plus x naught into f of x naught, which is equal to, similarly open this bracket, that is minus into plus minus x1 f of x naught, minus into minus plus x naught f of x naught. Then next you can observe here, in these two starting terms x2 is common. So here x2 is common. So take x2 common term outside. So what is remaining? F of x1 minus f of x naught. Then next, From starting two terms, x2 we have taken outside. So this is f of x1 minus f of x naught. Then take this minus x naught f of x1 this side of the equation. So minus term we are taking this side of the equation. So this is now plus x naught f of x1. Take this plus term this side of the equation, minus x naught f of x naught, and these two terms as it is, that is minus x1 f of x naught plus x naught f of x naught. Now which two terms will get cancelled here? You can observe this is minus x naught f of x naught and this is plus x naught f of x naught. So one negative term, one positive term will get cancelled. Then next x2 f of x1 minus f of x naught is equal to, see in these two terms, what is the common term? We don't have any common term in these two, so just we have to write it as it is, that is x naught f of x1 minus x1 f of x naught. Then we are calculating here second approximation, that is x2 value. So x2 is equal to x naught f of x1 minus x1 f of x naught. Take this multiplied term this side of the equation, then this is divided by f of x1 minus f of x naught, and this is the required secant method formula to calculate x2 approximation. This is exactly similar to regular falsy method. In regular falsy method, we consider general expression as xi is equal to, in place of x naught we have a, in place of x1 we have b. So regular falsy formula is what? A f of b minus b f of a divided by f of b minus f of a. In this, just in place of a we have x naught, in place of b we have x1. Other than everything is similar to regular falsy method. Same. As the formula is same, then why we need one more method to find the roots for any given equation? See, already in regular falsy, whatever the formula we are using, same formula we are applying here in secant method. Then why we need to use this secant method? Because formula is similar. See, in this regular falsy method, what we do means we calculate x1, we calculate x2, we calculate x3 based on plus minus concept. See, if x2 is negative, the x1 is negative and b is positive, then to calculate x3, what we consider? The previous x2 and the positive b. So root lies between x2 and b. Like this we consider here. But in secant method, how it is means, to calculate x2, it's the previous two results, that is x1 and x0 we have to consider. Next, to calculate x3, the x3 previous two results will be what? X3 previous two results will be x2 and x1. Whether it is giving us positive or a negative value, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in secant method. Directly we can consider x1 and x2 to calculate x3. Similarly, to calculate x4, the previous two results, that is x3 and x2, using these two values, directly we can calculate here x4. So here, whether f of x1 is negative or f of x2 is positive, this doesn't matter in secant method. That again we'll discuss in working rule of secant method. See, this formula derivation is exactly similar to your regular falsy method. So both the regular falsy and secant method formula derivation you can compare and then you can practice here. So in secant method, the formula is x2 is equal to x0 f of x1 minus x1 f of x0 divided by f of x1 minus f of x0. Instead of a and b, we are using x0 and x1 as initial approximation, that you need to remember. So in short, we'll discuss now the working rule of secant method. See, In working rule of secant method, what we have? Let f of x is equal to 0 be the given equation. So in question what they do means first they will give us a function that is f of x is equal to 0. So this will be the given question. So first f of x is equal to 0 equation will be given. Then next what we have to do means we have to calculate, we have to find x naught and x1. We have to consider this x naught and x1 as the initial approximations such that for f of x naught and f of x1 we should get opposite sign, means x naught should give us negative value and x1 should give us positive value. So based on that concept we have to consider x naught and x1. First step is same in all the methods, whether it is bisection method or regular falsy method or secant method. In every method, first initial step is similar. That is f of x is equal to 0 function will be given. We have to consider two approximate values, two roots, that is x naught and x1, such that f of x naught should give us negative value and f of x1 should give us positive value. Till then what we have to do means we have to replace x value as 0, x value as 1, x value as 2, x value as 3, then 4 and so on till we get one positive value and one negative value. We have to continue this process. So based on that we'll get our x naught and x1 values. So here x naught and x1 are the initial approximations. Let x naught and x1 be the two numbers such that f of x naught and f of x1 are of opposite sign, means one will be positive and another will be a negative one. Then the root lies between, then the root of this equation lies between x naught and x1. So here root lies between x naught and x1. So after this we have to calculate x2. See, in previous two methods, first approximation we start from x1. So first approximation calculate ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ x1 ದಿಂದ start ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. But already first and second root we are considering as x0 and x1. So already the approximation we are taking between x0 and x1. So to calculate first approximation we have to start from x2. ಇಲ್ಲಿ example x2 ದಿಂದ start ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, not from x1. So first we have to calculate here x2 approximation using the formula x0 f of x1 minus x1 f of x0 divided by f of x1 minus f of x0. See, once we calculate x2, then calculate f of x2, f of x2 function, and it is not required here to examine the sign of x of f of x2. It is not required to check whether f of x2 is a positive term or a negative term, not required. Previous bisection or regular falsiದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, after calculation of x2 whether f of x2 is negative positive we verify, but here it is not required. Just calculate x2. After calculation of x2 find out f of x2 value. Ad positively negatively doesn't matter. Next we have to calculate x3 using the previous two results. ಈಗ x3 ಗೆ previous two results ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, first x0, then x1, then x2, now x3. Using using x0 x1 we calculated x2. So now to calculate x3 consider the previous two results, that is x2 and x1. Using x1 and x2 we need to calculate x3. For x3 formula will be just interchange, replace x0 using x1, replace x1 using x2. So x3 formula is x1 f of x2 minus x2 f of x1 divided by f of x2 minus f of x1. This is to calculate x3. Then after calculation of x3 calculate f of x3, and again no need to check whether it is positive or negative. ಅದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. So once we get x3, next we have to go for x4. Now, to calculate x4, which two roots we have to consider? To calculate x4, its previous two results, that is x3 and x2, and so on. The process continues here till we get f of xn plus 1 as 0, means till we get answer as 0, or up to the acceptable level of accuracy. Now, acceptable level of accuracy means up to 2 decimal values, or up to 3 decimal values, or up to 4 decimal values. It will be mentioned in the question. So, according to that, till then we have to continue the process here. X1, X2, X3, X4 and so on, we have to continue. See, the one thing which is very easier one in this sequent method is, just we are calculating f of x2, just we are calculating f of x3, but we are not checking whether it is positive or a negative. Yes, so here whether it is positive negative we are not verifying. Just to calculate x4, the previous two results, x4 ಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, x3 and x2. Using x3 and x2 we calculate x4. Next, to calculate x5 we have to consider the previous two results, that is x3 and x4 and so on, it continues. So ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. For x2, for x3, similarly for x4 and so on. Particular formula will be there. With the help of that we need to calculate here. So based on this we can say that the general formula for a sequent method is xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus 1 f of xn minus xn into f of xn minus 1 divided by these functions, that is f of xn minus f of xn minus 1. So this is the general formula to calculate approximate values using sequent method.